All right, welcome back everybody, back with another quick little news of the day video here for you guys. Just a little brief episode here, shouldn't take too long, but some pretty considerable news here that I'm going to be going over with you guys in just a second. But before we get into it, as per usual, if you've noticed that I've missed anything in this video or any videos that I've done prior over the past few weeks, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to check out any of these stories for yourself, everything is linked down below in the description as per usual, as well as the link to our Discord server. If you want to check that out, feel free. And of course, if you don't want to miss any more news updates like this one and other content that I'm going to be getting into once the DPC season actually starts to get going, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell. And if you enjoy this video, like it and share it. It goes a long way. And thanks in advance for that. Okay, so Evil Geniuses has officially announced their roster. Of course, last week we heard that they were going to be parting ways with their roster, which was something that was getting rumored a lot after TI, that they were going to be dropping this roster and moving to South America. We got that confirmation last week. We've pretty much known who they were going to be picking up as their roster, and today we got that confirmation. And as suspected, it is a blend of the previous Beast Coast and Thunder Awaken rosters heading into this season. So what EG has done here, I like it quite a lot. I think this roster has a lot of potential. I think that they have seriously taken the best parts, the best players from each of those teams and brought them together. We'll see if that works. We've seen in the past where of course, teams throw together superstar rosters that just don't really work. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this works. But seriously, this is a roster that has tons of potential. Pakaz had a fantastic season. I didn't do coverage of the entire season this past year for the DPC, but when I was covering specifically South America, I was always talking about how Thunder Awaken, you know, they weren't always the most strategic, but they were just so damn good at their heroes, so damn good at their play style, that they could just beat you with any draft, and they would just get themselves some comfort heroes. Pakaz was the backbone of that strategy. This guy could carry like any game. He would be playing Faceless Void into 5 Faceless Void counters, and he would still carry it. So seeing him there, no big surprise. This past year has been amazing for him. Chris Luck and Whisper are coming over from Beast Coast. I like this a lot. I think Chris Luck still a very solid mid laner, still one of the best mid laners of the two Americas, hands down. Whisper, I love Whisper. It felt like for Beast Coast over their past 3 years of playing Beast Coast and playing together as a team, whenever they were stomping, it's because Whisper had the team on his back. It just felt like he was such a make or break player for this team. And now that they have him on the new EG roster, again, you now have 2 players in Pakaz and Whisper who I think can easily carry a game on their own. So huge there. However, there is something to be said about, you know, usually a team will have 1 superstar, and sometimes if you have 2, they can get in each other's ways, just a lack of synergy there. So we'll see how that ends up going. The one thing about Whisper is he has been playing with a player like Hector for a long time. Hector obviously has a very farm-oriented style, so I don't think that this is going to be a huge adjustment for him. And again, I'm just super excited to see. And then filling in the remaining spots, we have our 2 supports from Thunder Awaken, Matthew and Pandaboo coming in, and Coach Vintage will be the coach selected for this new roster, as opposed to grabbing the coach from Beast Coast, which I believe is Valky. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is, of course, something, again, that has been rumored for a while, but is this the new face of South American Dota? Is this the stack of players that is going to start dominating tours, dominating majors, and is Evil Geniuses going to be the face of South America? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, and I would still love to hear you guys' thoughts about what's going to be going on in NA. We've already heard that a majority of the ex-EG roster is going to be staying together, is going to be playing in North America, but they currently do not have an org. Again, I'd be surprised if there weren't orgs stumbling over themselves to try and sign this roster, but who's going to be leaving and who do they end up with? And how do they do into the next season? Will they still be the Goliath of the region with other teams like TSM FTX, Quincy Crew, who have gone through some changes of their own, and of course other teams like Nouns and Wildcard, who have been making their strides as well? Will they still be the top dogs in North America? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm genuinely curious. And again, I'm super excited to see how the next few weeks go before we have roster locking in just a couple weeks from now. It's not very far. It feels like there's a lot of players that need to be picked up still, including 3 players that now have officially left Boom. We're going to be moving over to Southeast Asia to kick off the end of this video. We heard a few weeks ago, specifically around when TI11 ended, that a lot of the players on Boom, in fact, every single player on the roster except for FBZ, was actually actively seeking out other offers with other teams, trying to explore a little bit, expand. Makes sense. You just had a fantastic season with a great team. You want to see what's out there, test all your possibilities. Although at that point, no one had actually left the team. They were just putting it out there that they were looking around. And now we have 3 of those 4 players that were looking around that have officially parted ways with the team, which is a pretty big deal. Again, kind of surprising that they actually went through with it. Again, with how well this past season went. Now the only 2 remaining members of Boom being Yopaj and FBZ, of course. And FBZ has been a part of Boom for over 4 years now, so props to him. But we'll see if Yopaj sticks around. I think Boom can still build around Yopaj and FBZ. They were still fantastic players. I think FBZ was probably one of the most underrated players of the year, honestly. His Pangolier in particular on Boom was fantastic, so we'll see what Boom's going to be able to do, and will they still be a top team in South America? Where do these other players end up? What offers could they have gotten from other teams? Is T1 actually going to start rebuilding a roster? There were some rumors that T1, after having disbanded, were going to be leaving the Dota 2 Pro Circuit, didn't want to stay in it. Now we've got even more amazing talent available in the pool for Southeast Asia. Will they stick around? Will they throw together a new roster? It'll be pretty cool to see. And finally, ending things off with some news from OB.Neon, who of course had a pretty spectacular failure in the final moments of last season, going 0-7 in the Div 2 groups. Their roster kind of fell apart a little bit after that, losing Enryu at the start of October. They have now parted ways with SE, who was their support player, but Enryu has returned. He will be playing position 3 for the team. They now have all 3 core slots filled. They do need 2 more supports. However, it might be a little tough to get players to want to come play for them, because this is an org that it will have to come through open qualifiers for this upcoming tour. They finished in dead last in Div 2, which means that they do not have a DPC slot anymore. And we have seen how competitive the open qualifiers can be for Southeast Asia. We had a team like Talon, who when they threw together their roster had like KP, who else did they have? They have Fly, of course, Gabby playing position 1, and they barely made it through those open qualifiers. They didn't win on their first try. So for OB.Neon, best of luck there. I think they do have the advantage of being an org that has been around the scene for a while. They can bring in some players with the fact that they're familiar. They probably will pay their players pretty well. But again, the fact that they have to come in through open qualifiers has to be a bit of an exclamation point for players looking around to see where they should go. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been your News of the Day update for the Dota 2 Pro Circuit. Things are going to start picking up over the next few weeks, so if you don't want to miss any more videos just like this one, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you're always notified whenever I upload. And again, if you want to check out any of the stuff I talked about in this video, check out the links in the description, as well as a link to our Discord server. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys very, very shortly with some more news and probably some more content as we start to get into next season, which is very, very exciting. So thank you guys so much for watching.